Hello everybody, AVT here, and I'm back with another episode in my beginner guide for Star Wars Galaxies and Legends. And today we're going to be playing through some more of the Legacy quests. We're here, we need to be going to the Darklighter storage facility, which is in the Darklighter cave. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to take the shuttle port here from Mos Eisley over to Freedom City, and then we're going to drive the rest of the way there. So this is something we haven't gone over before, but this is how you shuttle around the map if you're not using your instant travel vehicle. You click on one of these ticket terminals. We're going to buy a ticket to Freedom City. So Freedom City, purchase. There's a round trip option, but we're not going to need a round trip. Ticket purchase complete, and then we'll run over here into the portion of the starport that we travel into and talk to the ticket collector. And the shuttle is actually here. So if this shuttle's not here, you actually cannot board it. There is a timer in which it's here and when it's not. But it's here. And there we go. We are now in one of the player cities on the map. All of these structures are player placed, which we will still talk about in a later episode, but for the moment we're going to begin the 1800 meter drive over to the Darklighter storage facility, so I will talk to you guys once again when we're over there. Alright everybody, here we are. We are at the Darklighter cave. We're going to have to talk to the guard before we can go in, and apparently kill this swamp rat that's decided to chase me. Go ahead and do that. Okay. Alright, in we go. If I remember right, on vanilla this actually used to be a timed quest. It doesn't appear to be timed anymore. I'm not quite sure why, so I'm not going to complain about it. Keep venturing further into this cave. Pop one of these buff items. Small stats never hurts. There we go. Continuing down on into the cave. Sweeping fire. There we go. Clear these guys out. We're going to go this way first. As you can see there on the map, there is the first terminal that we've got to get to. Load lifter startled me. We're going to throw a cluster bomb right there in the middle of the room. Let's see if we can clear everybody out with one. Oh yeah. That's called success. There's one. Let's go get the next one. Gonna throw another cluster bomb right there on that bodyguard in the middle of the room. Let's see how many we can get. Oh! Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. This is why I like Commando. This is so easy. Another class with really good AoE damage is actually the Officer class. Also one of my favorite classes in the game. But, looks like all the other terminals are in the other portion of the cave. Yes, they are. So we're going to go back up to that other path. Anyways, back to what I was saying. Another class I really like is the Officer, but they are significantly squishier than the Commando. You're not going to be able to take nearly as much punishment. They are very, very useful, especially in a group setting. We'll definitely go over them when I go over each individual class, but I still, just because of how tanky the Commando is, and it's actually a simpler class to play, I recommend leveling with them just for ease of use. For those of you that are wondering, I do have other characters on this server. I have 4 other level 90 characters. I actually deleted a character to make this tutorial character so I could show you some of these quests that I had already completed on all of my other characters. That being said, I'm not going to accept any support from any of my other characters. I'm not going to tap into the credit pool that I have available to myself. I'm not going to be sending myself gear. I'm going to play this as though I'm just starting the game out so this guide can be as accurate and as realistic as possible to a new player experience. I just think it'll be more meaningful if I do it that way. Otherwise, it would just feel cheap and insincere. At least in my mind. There we go. Go over to the terminal. Really hope I didn't make a mistake going down that other cavern first. Go. Throw another cluster bomb. Perfect. One more terminal. Perfect, perfect, perfect. And there we go. Now we actually get to pick another weapon. I'm going to pick this E11 because it's a carbine. 60 to 120. I'm pretty sure that does more damage than what I have currently equipped. Where's my gun? Yes, it does. We're going to go ahead and equip that. And now we need to go get the data to the slicer, which means we need to get out of this cave. So I'm going to grenade my way out of here. And there we go. Now we're headed out. This is the one drawback to Commando. You're not very speedy, but to be fair, most classes are not much speedier than the Commando. The only one that has a distinct advantage in situations like this is the Jedi, because you have Force Run, which you could just zip on out of this cave. So you won't clear enemies as quickly. You won't clear them slowly. You just won't clear them as quickly, but you can move a lot quicker. So it's really kind of a trade-off. I also think they lowered the respawn timers on a lot of these enemies compared to the vanilla game, which I don't really mind too much. It's just extra experience. And it gives you something to do other than just running through an empty cave on your way out. And it also makes it so if there's somebody else in here questing and say you need to kill 20 of these guys or something, if they had cleared it out, you don't have to stand around and wait for 10-15 minutes because most areas in this game, unlike a lot of more modern MMOs, are not instanced. So, the majority of everything is out in the open world. This is where that movement speed buff that I like to get in the Entertainer buff would have come in handy. The Entertainer I got my buff from didn't actually give me the buff that I wanted. He gave me XP gain in armor, which is not bad, especially because I'm not wearing armor. It makes me significantly tankier. But I'm a lot slower in situations like that, so that's also a trade-off. You can ask for armor in your buff if you so choose. Entirely up to you. I am going to have to cluster bomb these guys so I can deliver this without getting shot at. So let's see... Need more... Oh. Just had enough, and then I did not. Let's throw our cluster bomb. Let's see if we can clear them all out in one. Ooh, it's a thing of beauty. I'm gonna talk to the slicer here. Perfect. Tell him thank you, and we'll take our level up. One more point in pinpoint shielding here as we continue to work our way down. We're trying to get here. Stand fast is a very critical ability for commandos. You're really, really going to want to have that. And now, as you can see, our quest says go to Watto. And as I'm assuming, most of you know who Watto is if you've seen any of the Star Wars films. He's the Toydarian slave owner of Anakin Skywalker. And for some reason I cannot call a pickup in that location, so I'm going to run over here next to this house, hit all of the wrong keys, and then hopefully summon my instant travel vehicle here in just a moment. Please. Perfect. There we go. Watto is up here in Mos Espa. I think he's near the Shuttleport East. He's on the northern part of the city, so I think this should put me pretty close. Yeah, 250 meters away. That's pretty darn close. The Shuttleport was not as far north as I was hoping it was. So we're going to drive on up here to Watto's junk shop. With the dead thug outside of it. And go speak to Watto himself. Trying to locate a droid. Alright, so we're going to do a favor for Watto. We're going to go kill these thieves. Drive over here. Past the cloning facility. I'm assuming there are going to be these red carrots out here. Yeah, it looks like it. A lot of thieves in this town. You know what solves that? Grenades. Grenades solve these problems. Perfect. Ooh, melee thieves. Perfect. We already looted what we are set out here to loot, so we can just go straight back to Watto. I'm gonna go this way this time so I don't have to drive around those buildings. And I should be able to miss the hole in the wall. But cut through there. Head on up to see Watto. There we go. Hello again, Watto. Looks like he took the droid apart. And now, when we complete this quest, we're actually getting rewarded the deed to a speeder bike. Which, personally, I also find pretty awesome. We'll talk about the different vehicles available in this game at some point. There are a ton of them, and they actually have differing speeds. The speeder that we get at the beginning of the game, what I'm driving right now, I think it's the XP38. Yes, the XP38 is actually quite slow. So the speeder bike is just a little bit faster, and then the speeder bike swoop is actually considerably faster. We'll probably be buying one of those soon, just because they're actually really affordable, and I enjoy the speed. I'm looking for a droid. Where's the droid? And, shockingly, Jawas took it. And there are no player cities between me and the Jawa trading outpost. So now we're going to begin our 3,000 meter trek out into the desert. A really quick tip that I realize I have neglected to mention, by default, the number lock key on your keyboard is bound to auto run. So if you want to hop in your speeder, point yourself at the waypoint, hit number lock, walk away, go make some dinner, do whatever, come back. Some of these drives can get rather long. That's totally an option. But regardless, we're going to drive out to the Jawa trading outpost, and I'll talk to you guys when we get there. Alright everybody, here we are at the Jawa trading post. We're going to go ahead and talk to this droid over here, see what he has to say. Look for a salvaged droid. Body for an R2 droid. Now we need to go find a miner. So, we're going to head out 600 meters this direction now. Some of these quests that you'll see throughout the game are just kind of a lot of driving from point A to point B. I wish I could tell you otherwise. There are some fantastic quests in this game. The story is really engaging. They really keep you drawn in. But sometimes you will just kind of drive from point A to point B. Wonder when will I get there, blow up a couple things. But it'll all be worth it. The end game content is just absolutely spectacular. So here we are coming up on a miner's camp. Looks like there's a lot of Tuskens here. Clear out a couple of them. We found the miner. I definitely did not kill the Tuskens, but you know what? Let's just blatantly lie to the poor dying miner. And kill the Tuskens, so I killed the last There we go. And there's the droid chassis, which I think the R2 droid chassis right there you will recognize. And we leveled up. And we got our speeder bike deed. So we're going to treat it just like the other speeder. We're going to double click it and get in combat so that it doesn't summon it. Awesome, awesome. Thank you, Tusken. You are ruining my example. Let's try that again. Disconstruct. Kind of deconstruct. We're going to deconstruct that. Please just summon the speeder bike. Crying out loud. My gosh, I am not moving. I am... These Tuskens just spawn incredibly quickly, so I'm going to kill them one more time, and then we're just going to get a little bit away from them and try that again. I'm not sure why it thinks I'm moving, but it really seems determined to tell me that I'm moving over there. What in the world? That is really odd. I don't know why it's being like that. How bizarre. Okay, well, I guess I'm not going to demonstrate the speeder bike to you right now because it's going to keep throwing an error that I'm moving even though I'm not. Sorry about that, everybody. I apologize. I'm not sure what's going on there. But we're going to drive this speeder another 2,600 meters out into the desert. So, once again, I will talk to you all when I get there. Alright, everybody. We have arrived at the downed ATST. So it tells us to go here. If you look, the guy we need to speak to is actually over here. And now we're going to go take what we need to get from these Tuskens over here. Take them all out so that I can collect what I need to collect in peace. That was a lot. I can't see target. Perfect. Now we should be able to go here and get the legs for the R2 unit. Now we need to try and go back to Watto. Once again, I can't call pickup in this location. We're going to head down the mountain where it's a little bit flatter. Try and call a pickup down there. Just a quick note, if you're in the proximity of a lair, like that rocky shelter right there with the banthas, you also will not be able to call your instant travel vehicle. Just something to keep in mind. And back to Mos Espa. Let's see if I can summon that speeder bike yet. There we go. I'm not sure why I was doing that earlier. But I'm actually going to drive this speeder bike around from now on, just because I like it considerably better than the actual XP38 speeder. I just think it looks a lot cooler. And we're going to head on up to Watto once more. side. Watto freaks out. Totally fine, Watto. Don't worry. Didn't turn you in. We gotta go find another part for the droid, which is actually over in Mos Entha. So we're gonna go head over there next. Mos Entha also has a starport, so we're just gonna drive on back down to the starport, travel over there, and carry on trying to put R2 back together. Select our ship, travel on over to Mos Entha. Perfect. And then on Qui is right outside the starport. So we're going to run on up here and talk to On Qui. What a name. And what an outfit. Where's this droid motivator? Now we go talk to Drachnus, the pod racer. Which, apparently pod racing is quite illegal. Because the Empire didn't like it very much. Now we're going to have to win all 3 of Drachnus' pod races to be able to get our droid motivator from him. So we're going to go on over here, check in with the race timer, start the race. This is one time I'm not going to put my speeder bike away. I'm actually just going to leave it out so I can jump on faster. I'm ready to start the race. Begin. Alright. I'm definitely going to leave my map open as well. It'll help me navigate through the city. Some of these races go through pretty tight quarters, and you don't want to accidentally get stuck in a dead-end alley or behind some wall, as this event is actually timed. It's really not too difficult. It's really, really easy if you've already purchased a speeder bike swoop, because like I said, it is considerably faster. So there's a lot more margin for error here. As you'll notice as I go through these waypoints, it's going to be pretty close on time. So you really want to try and be as on top of it as possible. I'll never forget the first time I did this. My computer was ancient, even at the time this game was out. And any time I was near a city, I lagged so unbearably I could barely play. But I loved the game so much, I persevered, and I had to try this probably 20 times, just because the lag made it so very difficult for me to actually navigate through the city streets on some of the later races. It was not a pleasant experience. But since I have a functional computer, and this game is quite old at this point, it's really not too bad anymore. You just navigate one waypoint to the next. This first one just skirts the city. That's about it. So I'm going to go ahead and just speed the rest of these pod races up. There's really nothing for me to guide you through here other than it's beneficial to drive with your map out, drive from waypoint to waypoint. Try not to get hung up on anything, because on this speeder bike the time is a little bit tight. But I'm just going to go ahead, I'll let the footage play out. I'm just going to speed it up so that it goes a little bit quicker, so you don't have to just watch me drive around the city in circles. That's not very entertaining, and there's nothing for me to teach you. So I will chat with you guys here in just a little bit. I was planning on speeding this footage up, but I actually think I'm going to play this out, just because these races actually go through the city, and I want to help you guys navigate through it, that way you don't get stuck. We're going to go ahead and jump on our speeder, start this race up, and this is where having your map open is actually quite critical, because you really, really don't want to get stuck. So we're going to hit waypoint 1, curve this way, waypoint 2 is up here, and as you can see, there's all these little green bars on your map. Those are all going to be walls. Game? Hello? Yikes. I don't know why it missed that waypoint for me, but thank you for that. So this is where, I mean, to be completely honest, I'm not even really looking at my character model. I'm just navigating through my map as I drive through the city here. Wow, I'm glad they gave me a lot of time for that waypoint. That was really weird. We go ahead and talk to the race timer again. Goodbye. Go talk to Mr. Drachnus one more time. And then we'll do the third, and if I remember correctly, most difficult race. Not that any of them are incredibly difficult, but definitely the most. That vehicle right there is the one I actually keep speaking of. That is the speeder bike Swoop. Alright, Drachnus. Let's do it. Final race. Drive over to the race timer. Get it started up. Run into a potted plant, apparently. That was on the agenda. Alright, RC3T. Let's see what you got for me. It's like a forlorn looking droid. Okay. I'm actually going to navigate this way. I'm going to go through this little alley right here. Cut between these two buildings. Perfect. Next waypoint is behind the starport, so we'll loop around that. And this is where it would probably be rather difficult to try and navigate without your map. This is why I highly, highly recommend driving with your map open. I do it in towns. I actually do it quite frequently. If you've been watching my videos, you've probably seen that already. It's really helpful to know what obstacles are in your way, to know if there's enemies around you. Because the white carrots are typically NPCs. The yellow ones we've talked about, non-aggressive. The red ones, aggressive. Go ahead and navigate through here. It's just, there's a lot of information there, and you really want to be able to pick it up as you go along so you don't get caught unaware. Where's this waypoint? I'm going to go ahead and go through here, around the hotel here, and then through here. There we go. Around this building, through here, and to the finish. And there we go. We are now a pod racing champion. Something I haven't covered yet, you see these 100 points of swoop faction rating? It disappeared as I was trying to talk to you about it. Here on the factions tab, it'll show you all these faction relation ratings. Those really do not have a large effect. There's a couple places where they play in. I will talk to you guys about that in those very specific cases once we get there. But that was part of the original iteration of this game, where pretty much everything was based off of factional influence. That is not the case anymore, so you really don't have to worry about them too much. Now, should probably get on my speeder. I'm going to go talk to Anqui once more, now that we've completed all of the races. Tell me where this droid motivator is. Alright. And of course, it's out here in the desert with more Tusken Raiders. Because what enemy is there on Tatooine? Tusken Raiders. And sand, I guess, depending on who you are. Sand could be quite the enemy. So, just another 400 meters out here. We will go collect this. Some more random desert rebels. So you never know, you might just need to defend some sand. Pod racer wreckage down here in the valley. Just gonna Spider-Man my way down this cliff. Throw a grenade at some Tuskens that I apparently can't see. Definitely see him. And there is my droid motivator. 8 seconds worth of collection left. This is why it's important to clear out combatants around you before you click on this, because if they aggro you during this duration, it restarts it. And then you have to do it again. Can't call for a pickup, but I see houses right over here, so we're going to head and drive over to these houses, call in my instant travel vehicle, and return ourselves over to Watto. Let's try it right here. Perfect. Back over to Mos Espa. There's our speeder bike. Back over to Watto's junk shop. There we go. Hello again, Watto. More buff items we don't need. Perfect. And there we go. We have now hit level 22, and this is actually kind of a milestone for us. So we're going to go ahead and get our next point in pinpoint shielding. But we have just received the Demolitionist armor. This is the first set of armor you get in the game as a commando. So we're going to go ahead and equip it. I actually don't think it's one of the worst looking armors in the game. I actually think it looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and deconstruct these Chronicle relics. We'll talk more about those at a later date as well. I just continually disconstruct them for now, because unless you want to get into chronicling, which we will also talk about at a later date, you really have no need for them. While I'm here, there's a junk dealer here, and my inventory is getting rather full. So we're going to say I have some things you might be interested in. Now, a lot of you later on might be cringing at what I'm doing right now, because junk loot, contrary to popular belief, is actually valuable. But in this moment, I have no need of it. I don't have a place to store it. I need to get it out of my inventory. I can go loot more later. So for now, I'm just going to go through, sell everything. I have my inventory open because it makes it so my mouse doesn't move when I hit the sell button. So I can just sit here, and every time the window pops up, sell, 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 get rid of everything I don't need, get some inventory slots back. Almost done. We had a lot of useless junk in our inventory. Keep it going. Almost there. Eventually. Normally you'd want to pay a little bit of attention to what you're selling. At this stage of the game, I honestly just need the credits more than anything else, so I'm just going to get rid of it all. And there we go. We have a usably sized inventory once more. So, now we're going to go repo this speeder part for Watto, because we still need the remaining piece of our droid. Head over here and talk to Pa. Or I guess yank a part out of Pa's speeder. Oh, well, sorry Pa. Have a rough life, dude. Drive back over to Watto's junk shop now that we've become a repo man. to Watto once again. Get more things we don't need. Perfect. Okay. Now, we are going to the Squill Cave. I'll be frank, when I initially played this game, way back in the day, I was maybe, gosh, I was pretty young. I was, I think about 11 or 12 years old. These things terrified me. They look bizarre. There's no other word I have to describe how these things look. They look like they're wearing their brains on the outside of their skulls, and it freaked me out. So, ever since then, I have taken distinct pleasure in the slaughter of squills. Anything I can do to remove their existence, I will gladly do. But we're going to head and buy a ticket over to Compton, because it seems to be the closest city with a shuttle port to the Squill Cave. And then we're going to go ahead and travel over there and get this finished up. This should be the last quest that we have to run for Watto. And then, I won't spoil it, but it's actually onto one of my favorite parts of the entirety of the Legacy quests. Why is my speeder up there? Why do you hate me so, game? So we're going to go ahead and begin our 1,500 meter trek out here to the Squill Cave. Just a little bit of a disclaimer. Oh, this, really quickly, while we're here, this is actually a house that was added to the game. This was not in vanilla. This is basically a replica of the Lars homestead, if you will. It's like a little moisture farm. This is really, really cool. We'll do a tour of one later. I just really appreciate that the devs have been adding stuff like this. So if any of the devs get the chance to watch any of these videos or take interest in watching these videos, just a quick shout out, a quick thank you for everything you guys have been doing for Legends. It's fantastic. But anyways, quick disclaimer, I have not done the Legacy quests in almost 3 years at this point, when I first made my characters to start playing Legends. So, we will attempt to remember the correct path in the Squill Cave. If I get it wrong, I'm still going to show the whole footage of me running through the cave. Just, I will make sure to make note which path is the correct one so you guys don't go down the wrong path. Spend a bunch of needless time in the Squill Cave. So there's where it says the droid part is, but the entrance to the Squill Cave is over here. I seem to have aggroed something. Shockingly, it's a squill. You guys are about to see what these things look like. So I don't know if, based on that, you understand my description earlier and why it terrified small me. But it definitely terrified small me. I just realized I got a new focused fire. I think that's what this is called. Yeah, focused fire. Then replace that. And squill diving we go. Gosh, it's been a while. I do not remember which way to go. Where was the droid part again? Take a quick look. Maybe it'll tell me something. That direction. I'm going to try this pathway right here. I might be wrong. We're going to find out. If I am wrong, I'll cut the footage back up to here and then show you the correct pathway. What irritates me about these squills is that debuff that I had. It actually drains your stamina, and it's just beyond annoying when you're running through here and you're just constantly losing stamina. This may actually have been the right path. I think I might have gotten lucky. That would be spectacular. No, I don't want your debuff. Go away. Success. Darn it. There's that debuff again. Have a grenade. Houdini indeed. I'm gonna cluster bomb this Squill out of nothing but pure hatred. Ah, satisfactory performance. I don't like squills. Aggro, please. Blow them all up. Perfect. Death to all squills. Gosh, as you can see, I just don't have enough action. Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm gonna aggro this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. Get them all clumped up together. Throw a cluster bomb. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. And I did pick the right path. Look at that. Sometimes a little bit of luck goes a really long way. Alright, Squills, come in. Walk to your doom. Thank God for this armor. Bye-bye. Okie dokie. There is our droid diagnostic controller. Perfect. So while we're here, hello there, we're going to talk to this hermit. Tell him we're curious. We ask him why he's in the Squill cave. And what he philosophizes about. Philosophizes? I don't know how you say that. We'll tell him the Empire rules unjustly and we want to become a hero. And he wants us to prove that we're a hero. And then he'll give us the mark of the hero. We'll tell him we'll do it. So this is actually a cool quest. We're not going to do it for quite some time. We're going to do it at a later date. But it's called the Mark of a Hero. It grants us a really, really unique item called the Mark of the Hero. When you equip it, it actually allows for a self-revive. Pretty neat item. Also, really quickly, while we're here, there is a Bloodshot Ripper here, which is a collection item we're going to go ahead and pick up. And there we go. Now we just got to get ourselves out of this cave. So we're going to run on back the way we've come, get out of the Squill cave, and return to Watto. I could just go aggro a bunch of squills, get myself killed, clone back in Mos Espa. But if you do that, you're going to lose duration on your buffs, and I really have... Or excuse me, I will not lose duration on my buffs. Correction. I will lose them. If you're killed in PvP, you lose duration on your buffs. If you're killed by an NPC, you're going to lose your buffs. And I really have no desire to go get rebuffed right now, so I'm just going to take the extra couple minutes, run out of the Squill cave, contemplate my life choices, because I really hate squills. And then we'll go talk to Watto. Aggro some of these out of principle, because I really just want to kill some more of these things. I really don't like these. Ah, yes. Come to me. Come to die. Goodbye. You have earned that. For doing nothing more than existing in your home. Oh yes, death is the answer. That is all. I have done my civic duty and killed many squills this day. I have a bunch of enzymes, which sucks, because I'm going to have to go through and destroy those later. We'll talk about what enzymes are used for at a later date as well. It goes into that Beast Mastery expertise. that I was talking to you guys about the other day. But it's not going to benefit us for quite some time. Get me out of here! Somebody has their house out here. Y'all are crazy. No, thank you. Guess I wasn't done killing squills yet. Come here. This is the end for you. Have a cluster bomb. Goodbye. And back to Watto we go. Drive over to his junk shop one more time. Perfect. And I want a classic E11. And Watto has found the head, and he sold it to Jabba the Hutt. So now, we're going to go talk to Jabba. Accept. And there we go. So this is actually where I'm going to end the video for the day. This begins the Jabba's theme park quest line. It's a whole nother set of quests. We don't just go talk to Jabba and get the head. But we'll pick that up next time. As always, I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have any questions that you would like to ask, feel free to reach out. Post it in the comments, and I will do my best to get it answered as quickly as possible. As always, may the Force be with you.